Hello, I'm Skaith, and I am here with the guild Crystalsong Guard on Moonglade EU. We will be posting our progressions throughout Ice Crown 10 Man through 3 different styles of video. One being through the eyes of Drennan, who is our main tank during the Ice Crown raids. Another, which is a ranged DPS healer point of view, who is Suzu, and the melee DPS, which is me. If you wish to ask questions or inquire about our raids or guild, you can visit our guild website at csg.guildomatic.com, or if you like, you can just simply ask questions here on YouTube. Here we're just down in the trash before Marrowgar, so we shall skip to him in a couple of seconds. Right, here he is, big guy, Lord Marrowgar. The tactics that we have for this boss is that we have our healers in a sort of triangle delta formation. One healer being on the north next to the door, one healer being on the west, and one healer being on the east. For the tactics, we have Bone Storm, which is why we have our healers situated in a triangle, because we have all of our raid members stood inside the outer circle. This is to make it easier on the healers. Although people may take damage from this boss, when he does do the Bone Storm, he does move around the room, so the damage that you'll be taking will be varied. However, with your healers positioned in the triangle formation, it shouldn't be too hard to out-heal. The other one is Bone Spike Graveyard, which we have our ranged DPS on. Usually I'm on the spikes every week, however this week we've got 3 DPS that are ranged, 2 Warlocks, Leslie and Snake, and our Mage, Progenerics. So what we've done this week is, if any of the ranged DPS are to get spiked, then I'm to obviously be the backup for that, as it's something that I'm used to. There we are on the ready check, making sure we've got the buffs. There's Suzu stood behind me, he's positioned by the door. And here we are going for the pull. Now, of course we have the melee DPS stood behind Marrowgar, and the tanks stood on top of each other to soak up the cleave and to face him away from the raid. Now you can see occasionally I'll be looking behind myself to make sure that the ranged DPS haven't got spiked. Of course we do have Ventrilo up as well, which most people in the raid do have spikes. If not, we've had the people that can't speak set up macros. There's a ranged DPS that's been spiked, so it's my job to take care of that as well, along with the ranged DPS. Here's the Bone Storm. There you can see we've got everybody in the circle, just to make it easier on healers, as I did state previously. Now you can see I'm taking about a max of about 5k damage, but of course that does go down the further away it gets from you. So what we do is that near the end of the Bone Storm we do stop DPS, so the tanks can get aggro and reposition the boss. The Cold Flame isn't particularly anything to worry about, just step out of the way there and everything should be okay. Of course, if you do have deadly boss mods installed, like most raid members should do, it'll also alert you as well. so you don't get yourself caught up in that. This is another point to bring up. We do have our melee DPS on the boss, of course, and when the melee DPS do get spiked, we do have the others to take care of that, as well as the ranged DPS, just to help out and get them down that little bit faster. As you can see what I'm doing there. I'm also using Heart Strike as well, which affects 2 targets, as Blood Death Knights do know. Another thing that I do as well is cast Pestilence on the spike if it's close enough, just so I can do that little bit extra damage and get it down a bit faster. And there we are, repositioning the boss, keeping him in the centre of the room. Again, you can see Suzu stood behind me, Jan on the right hand side, and Tolson on the left, who's our priest. We do have a druid healer, which is Suzu, of course, as you can see the tree, and Jan, our holy paladin. There we are again, just helping out and casting Pestilence. And that pretty much sums up our encounter from Marrowgar. Throw generics on the spike again. On the left hand side you'll, well now behind me you'll see a lol well, as we call it in the raid. This lol well belongs to Tolson, which he does claim to be a good talent to spec into, but we just completely rip him for specking into it. It is quite funny and we do get a good couple of laughs out of it. Whereas repositioning him. Another bone spike graveyard. So, just to sum up Marrowgar, for what we do, healers in a formation, north, east and west. We also have our tanks stood on top of each other and tanking in the centre of the room. And avoid the cold flames, of course, and everybody to stay in the circle, ranged, healers and melee DPS. There was the last 2 people, healers, Jan and Suzu, just helping out the ranged DPS there, just to get them down. Here we are coming to the end of the fight now. There we go. He's down. Normally we do have our loot system on Master Looter, but because our raid leader fails, we forgot to change it before the encounter. The Citadels and Forces Claymore is the weapon that I'm currently using for DPS. Our next video, Lady Death Whisper, so stick around.